Welcome to Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. Of course, we've got you covered on everything sports. It's the weekend and action day everywhere. From football, Formula One, tennis, basketball, we've got you covered. Yes, right here. And I'm not there alone inside studio. I've got my guy, my G, of course, right here from our Abuja studio. Now, where would they reach you from? Otumba, CEO Bioge's Media. I call him Obatunde, but of course, if you still call him Otumba. Otumba, good to have you on
my pleasure.
UTV Africa Sports Cruise. It's the weekend. A lot today for us to talk about when it comes to weekend. Of course, the actions returns in Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, Ligue 1. Not forgetting NPFL as well. Actions day as well in NPFL. I've got you covered with tennis as well, Formula One, boxing, and everything that's got to do with sport. First, we'll be taking a trip to Premier League. Of course, Chelsea, early kickoff this weekend. Chelsea. Since Chelsea beat Barcelona, in fact, they go chop beans way sour. Things not really do well for them, Otumba. Champions League, we thought maybe they will bounce back with Atalanta game, but they didn't. Of course, this weekend, Everton did their front. Two Battle of the Blues. Which one be the main blue? But with the form where David Moyes and his boys, they currently. I could put hand for my chest, still say Chelsea if you come out on top. But as it stands, nobody knows which of the Chelsea to expect. Is it the Club World Cup Chelsea? Now we go see. Is it the Conference League Chelsea? Now we go see. Which of the Chelsea are we going to see? Otumba.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting game at the Stamford Bridge. We're talking about a matchup between 5th and 7th.
7th, yeah.
5th and 7th. Just a point separates them. Chelsea have 25 points. Everton have 24 points. It's more or less like a game that you can label a banana peel for Chelsea because you really can't tell what you expect. When you consider the fact that they took apart Barcelona without dropping too much sweat. And subsequent games, they've flattered to deceive. Against Arsenal, they were held to a 1-1 draw. We saw what happened when they took that trip to Elland Road to face Leeds. It didn't come out well for them. And against Atalanta in the Champions League at the Gewi Stadium in Bergamo, they lost in the Champions League as well.
I guess Bournemouth did not really go well for them as well.
Yes, they played goalless against a Bournemouth side that has been struggling for form and they can't even buy a goal in their last few games. So it's going to be an interesting game, even though on paper you expect Chelsea to see out this one because when you consider the fact that at the Hill Dickinson Stadium against Newcastle a couple of days ago, about 2 weeks ago, Everton lost scandalously against Newcastle. I think that game ended 4-1 in favor of Eddie Howe's side. But Chelsea is a different kettle of fish, if you ask me. And the truth is this: if they decide to come to the party, I think Everton will find it very, very difficult to hold their own.
Now the problem is that which of the Chelsea are we going to see? Because a lot of Chelsea fans, most of them don't feel put hand for their Chelsea. In fact, so they go feel beat Everton. In terms of form, the last 5 fixtures, 4 wins, 1 loss for Everton, 2 draws, 2 wins for Chelsea and 1 loss. So based on form currently, you might say Everton get upper hand.
Yes, going into this game, Everton will fancy their chances when you consider the fact that, like we say in football, you're as good as your last result. Everton, they are smiling and they are doing very well for themselves. I think the arrival of Jack Grealish from Man City has done that team a whole lot of good. And in as much as Pickford, the goalkeeper, sometimes doesn't cover himself in glory with some kind of schoolboy goalkeeping errors. They've been able to hold their own at the back. James Tarkowski, Michael Caine, the
Grealish,
Ukrainian left back. I'm trying to remember his name now. Then the guy that plays at right back, Seamus Coleman, at sometimes. James Garner deputizes very well at that particular part of the pitch. They've been doing very well for themselves. But if Enzo Maresca can get his starting lineup correctly, he can be spot on with his substitutions, then they can just edge Everton in this one.
Chelsea cannot afford to lose.
Absolutely. I think Evans will almost fall if Chelsea should drop points in this particular one. When you consider the fact that head-to-head, Chelsea are way above Everton in this particular fixture. And you consider the fact that they are playing at the Stamford Bridge. It's not always easy for a side like Everton to go to Stamford Bridge and get maximum.
Teams don't run Sunderland don't do this season.
Yes, but I don't really see this Everton side doing that. If a certain Estavio can, come to the party and just maybe Joao Pedro too would try to get back into scoring ways. He scored his first Champions League goal against Atalanta, and maybe that might just be the spark that will ginger the.
And then we expect Kopama to make a return into the team.
Yes, I think he was rested for the Atalanta fixture. But if they can get their rhythm, I don't see them finding it difficult to beat David Moyes' side.
One of the things Chelsea fans they complain before we leave Chelsea game is the fact that the coach, I don't know how he saw the fact that James supposed to be midfielder. Some Chelsea fans are not happy with him playing James in the midfield alongside Caicedo.
Yes, but Reece James did himself he covered himself in glory against Arsenal. In fact, some Chelsea apologists will tell you that James was the man of the match, considering his performance. But I think he has done very well for himself. He deserves to be getting the flowers he's getting right now, considering the kind of performances he has put out in recent times. This is one player that some of us have labeled national greed. And with the World Cup around the corner, even if na goalkeeper, they say make Reece James come play right now, I think he should just go for it, because in a pecking order, when you consider the part of the pitch where he plays, options plenty there. In fact, they even beg Thomas Tuchel, they try beg Ben White to come out of self-imposed retirement to tell you that they have an assemblage of players. They are embarrassingly blessed in that part of the pitch. And Reece James, let him just continue to play. Even if in a striking position, they say make him come play. Why not? I think he can toe a line from Mikel Merino, who has played almost everywhere on the pitch, on the field of play for all the clubs he has played for. Mikel Merino, when in the Borussia Dortmund, he was a centre-back. At Real Sociedad, he was playing as a midfielder. At Newcastle, he was
more like a midfielder.
He was more or less like a midfielder too. Sometimes he plays somewhere around the defensive department too. But at Arsenal, he play as false nine, and it has been working. If you are talking about a player that has done very well for himself at club and country level, you have to make a mention
but
of
injury crisis is one of the reasons we go feel hold the
Reece James. Injury has held him back over time, but let's just hope he has been able to get that past him. Maybe the medics at Chelsea have been able to, find the right substance or the right stuff to give him to make sure that he keeps his fitness levels.
What last season, this match, if I put all your salary on top, if I put all your properties on top, say Liverpool go beat Brighton at Anfield. But the Liverpool we they see now under and a slot, you not gonna know where you want stand. Well, they beat Inter the Champions League midweek, but Brighton a different bottle of, in fact, a different team entirely. And now, where you need to chow with liquid by your side. If not, they go choke you. And also, after their game over the weekend against Nottingham Forest, we saw Salah come out to hold that interview in the press area after the game. And ahead of this game, and the slot is saying, well, we will have a discussion with Mohamed Salah. Yeah. But first, before we talk about Brighton, let me get your take on Mohamed Salah. Are you one of those who feels, well, you're not supposed to air in views, you're supposed to keep short, you're supposed to keep quiet? Are you one of those who feels, well, he did right, to come out and voice his opinions? Of course, he's a leader in that team.
Mohamed Salah has been a faithful servant of the Reds. He has really contributed immensely to everything that Liverpool has achieved over the years. And I think he's entitled to his opinion. I feel the team didn't they've not really done well for Mohamed Salah. They threw him under the bus, actually. And
he's right to use the words, throw him under the throw him under the bus. Yeah, under the
people
bus.
like Jamie Carragher should cover their faces in shame for the kind of statements they put out as regards this Mohamed Salah issue. What we heard is that he will have a one-on-one discussion with Arne Slot this morning, and we saw pictures about him having a meeting with former Liverpool captain, talking about Jordan Henderson at an Italian restaurant just last night.
Yeah.
And I believe strongly all of this is being channeled towards a peaceful resolution of the Cold War between him and his Slot, who for me seems to be lost. Because if you rearrange the word slot, what you will get is lost. Because the Dutchman seems to be lost when you consider the fact that the defending champions have found it difficult to hold their own against even less fancy
They've lost
opposition.
scandalously this season.
For the life of me, I never saw it coming that Leeds will hold Liverpool to a 3-3 draw at the Elland Road a couple of days ago.
Should Slot be wary of Brighton?
He has no choice than to do that, because we saw what Brighton did against West Ham the last time. I think that was on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Brighton is a team that, even against the best of the best, they can hold their own. And when you have a certain Daniel Welbeck, who is rolling back the years to score goals for the Amex-based side, I think Arne Slot should be worried. And you're talking about a Brighton side who are above Liverpool as we speak on the standings. Brighton are placed 8th, Liverpool are 10th, though on goals difference they are both tied on 23 points. But it's not going to be a stroll in the park for Liverpool. Their last game against Inter Milan at the San Siro, they edged Christian Kivu's side by an odd goal from the penalty scored by Dominic Szoboszlai. It will not be as easy as it was against the Italian side when Brighton comes calling. They've got players that can hold their own against the best of the best in the world. Carlos Baleba, Lewis Dunk, the captain, Daniel Welbeck, and I'm not forgetting the Gambian, I'm trying to remember his name, who switches from right to left and is always a torment in the flesh of every opponent he comes up against. So it's going to be an interesting game. But if the discussion between Arne Slot and Mo Salah goes well, I expect Mo Salah to get back to the bench and play maybe some few minutes in that particular encounter.
And then based on form, in last 5 matches, 2 wins, 2 draws down, 1 loss for both teams. It's not as if based on form that par, same points on the tables, and just goal difference then they separate them.
Yeah.
And Slot must find a way to win. You cannot beat Atlanta and then lose against Brighton at home.
Yes, but it's easier said than done. Against Brighton, it's not always a straightforward thing because this is a team that is very compact. They know how to hold the ball. They press well. They hold the eye line like it's more or less like something that is tailor-made as far as this Ozla's led side is concerned. So Arne Slot needs to be wary of this Brighton side. If he doesn't get his tactics right there at Anfield, they will pour sour grapes on their faces.
Big elephants, big everywhere, big for Champions League, big for Premier League. They're doing exceptionally well. In fact,
you don't even need to go far. I already know the thing you're talking about.
Well, calm down.
My cheeks are running.
I can see that. I can see that already. Now, for this team, a few weeks ago, they were priding themselves as one of the best defenses in Europe, both home and Premier League.
They still are.
Things are no longer the same because teams, they score them now. Arsenal will be welcoming Wolves. You expect Arsenal, if an elephant, to sit on top Wolves and then make sure they crush them. It's not a matter, it's not how many, whether Arsenal go win. Now, how many goals Wolves go collect. We saw them score their first goal in as many matches against Manchester United last Monday. Well, second in level supposed to beat this team. That's come on. Second in level supposed to be Wolves or Tumba. Your team, Arsenal. You see the way you're smiling for your face. That's supposed to be this team.
The thing is, I saw the admin of the Twitter handle of Wolverhampton actually posted it on X that their next game will be at the Emirates Stadium, and I was tempted to just take my eyes off it, but at one point I said no, I need to say something about it, and I posted in my local language. I said "Ajekun Iyalema Aje," because there's absolutely no way on earth that Wolves will leave Emirates without at least 3 or 4 goals back to the Molineux, because there's no way they can hold their own against
2 points
against
separate.
Arsenal.
2 points separate Arsenal and Manchester City.
That is one of the reasons why Arsenal will need to go all out and make sure they get a win, and they win well against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I watched their game against Manchester United on Monday, and I was like, what in God's name is this? And
at some point, Man U made them better.
Let's tell ourselves the truth. It will take you can say it's a cliche, but like I always say, it will take a miracle of epic proportion for Wolverhampton Wanderers to keep their status at the end of the season. For me, they should be preparing for life in the Championship, because this is one of the games that will cement their place in the second tier of English football.
Well, like he said, not be how many way Wolves go collect, not be whether Arsenal go win, now how many Wolves go collect. That's to maintain. And like I mentioned, 2 points separate Man City and Arsenal at the top there. And same time, Arsenal is facing Wolves at home. Man City, they travel to go face Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner's side at the Selhurst Park. If you know this Crystal Palace so far, this is from last season, in fact, this season, you go know some giant slayers them be. Man City on their own part beat Real Madrid away from home. At the Santiago Bernabeu at the Champions League, and they're beginning to pick form as well. In fact, Haaland is balling, Foden is balling. In fact, Shekin is beginning to enjoying himself. In fact,
cool.
The whole team is balling.
Yeah.
But Crystal Palace, like I used to say, now both way you go child with liquid by your side. You don't underrate them. They've beaten this Man City, the FA Cup. They know Man City very well as well.
Community Shield.
Community Shield, rather.
Yes, Community Shield, FA Cup.
Community Shield, FA Cup. They beat them in FA Cup. Man City and Pep, I'm sure they know what they're up against.
Yes, it's going to be a difficult game at the Selhurst Park. For me, Manchester City will actually fancy their chances, because one of the tormentors in chief for Crystal Palace is no longer there. Talking about Eberechi Eze.
Well, Santi Mateta did, yeah.
Mateta is still there.
Santos Suche is there.
Ismail Assar is injured. Ismail Assar he will not play. I'm sure of that. And he might not even be at the upcoming AFCON due to an ankle injury that is trying to shake off. But it remains to be seen if he will be part of the Senegalese side in Morocco. So it's going to be an interesting game when you consider the fact that in the last few meetings, Crystal Palace have been the happier side in the Community Shield, the curtain raiser of this season. They won. In the FA Cup, they won. And I believe strongly the Oliver Glasner side will fancy their chances, considering the fact that they are playing at home. But we're talking about the Manchester City side that has been able to find their rhythm when it matters. Ryan Sheki, Jeremy Doku, Erling Haaland, not forgetting Tijani Reinders. All those guys are doing very well for themselves. Donnarumma is more or less like a wall in between the sticks. So it's going to be an interesting game, but I'll sit on the fence in this one, considering the fact that my darling team needs to watch their backs. Just maybe Crystal Palace will do a bit of give my team a bit of helping hand and make sure they get a draw in this particular encounter.
And one of the biggest games, Man United will be welcoming Bournemouth on Monday. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go branch Serie A, La Liga, Ligue 1, NPFL. We'll go touch base to that side. And then we've got Formula 1. We've got boxing lined up for you. Sports Cruise on your favorite TV, of course, the UTV Africa. Chinwe Pikin right here alongside Otumba. Will they come back? Where you won't go before? All right, welcome back. Sports Cruise on top UTV Africa, live from our Abuja studios. We are taking a look at, of course, all the major talking points ahead of this weekend's fixtures. We're going to leave Premier League, make we go La Liga. And another side, we will go very fast. It be like, say, Barcelona picked form at the right time. When you would have expected Real Madrid to consolidate their place at the top of the table, they didn't take their chances. And right now, 4 points separates Madrid from Barcelona. Now, Barcelona going to welcome Osasuna, and you would have expected Barcelona to do justice to Osasuna.
Yes, that should be a straightforward win for me, by my prediction. We're talking about a matchup of 1st versus 15th at the new Spotify Camp Nou. I expect Barcelona to go all the way and get maximum points. Lewandowski is still there. We saw Jules Koundé get a brace against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. There's nothing much to talk about in this one. I expect them to roll over Osasuna.
Rashford, do you see Barcelona keeping Rashford?
He has shown flashes of brilliance in some games. We saw his input. He contributed immensely against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. In fact, that fantastic cross was more or less like take.
Use and do anything you want to
do. For Jules Koundé, and the French defender was brilliant with that header. With what he has shown, I think Barcelona can, just reward what they've seen of him and just give him a permanent contract.
And then, of course, other matches to look out for. Let's go Madrid. Also, we're going to face Valencia. Let's go Madrid, Valencia.
Yes, at the Metropolitano, I expect Atletico Madrid to defeat Valencia in this particular fixture. Over the years, Valencia found it difficult, especially on their travels, to beat Atletico Madrid. And when you consider the fact that even away from home, Atletico Madrid got past PSV 3-2 in that particular Champions League fixture, I think they are riding high right now. And when you consider the guys that can get the goals for Atletico Madrid, so I don't see the defenders that will stop the likes of Alexander Sørloth, Antoine Griezmann, and the other guys. And in fact, goals are actually shared in Atletico Madrid because certain Jimenez and co can come from the defense line and get headers and score goals in matches. So I expect them to also roll over Valencia. Valencia will come with a fight, but Atletico Madrid will surely prevail.
And of course, our own Veronica Adams, his last match for Sevilla should be this weekend against Oviedo. And then hopefully he'll sign him off with a goal.
Yes,
Adams for Sevilla.
Against Real Oviedo, I expect Sevilla to get maximum points. Oviedo are actually rooted to the basement of the La Liga table, and I think there's no stopping them on going back to the Segunda division with what we've seen of them
with Santi Cazorla. They'll go back with Santi Cazorla. We can't go back again.
They should be going back to where they came from. So I expect Akko Adams and Chidera Ejuke to give the Sevilla fans something to cheer about before they book their flight to Morocco.
How much of time does what's his name Alonso have at Real Madrid? Alaves, they're in front of them. They'll be traveling to go face Alaves. Can Alonso survive at Real Madrid? It seems like as they break, now so pressure they mount on top of him. Few weeks ago, they were topping Barcelona. Right now, Barcelona are top of Real Madrid with 4 points. And they cannot afford to lose this game. We saw what Celta Vigo. In fact, I can't ask myself, if now Barcelona, they play Real Madrid or now Celta Vigo.
Yes, it's a game that Xabi Alonso and his men must win. And they must win and win well because the handwriting is on the wall that there are cracks in the wall at Real Madrid. For me, I just feel that the players want Xabi Alonso sacked because that showing against Celta Vigo is scandalous. It is criminal for Real Madrid to lose
at home
by the manner at which they lost.
They destroyed the defense.
I have a soft spot for Real Madrid. You know that.
True.
In fact, I almost had nightmares after that match against Celta Vigo, and I was asking myself, Celta Vigo? But it is what it is. They had a chance to get back to redemption ways against the almighty Manchester City, but they faltered as well. So against a less fancied Alaves, they have a chance to get back to winning ways, get a breather, because if Xabi Alonso doesn't win this particular fixture, in my head and in my heart, I just have a feeling that the free man, talking about Zinedine Zidane, who has been out of job for a couple of years, might just make a return to the sidelines at Santiago Bernabeu.
There are some sections of football lovers who believes that Alonso, they handle Real Madrid like Bayern Leverkusen, that there's a difference between coaching and managing players. In Bayern Leverkusen, more like he was coaching. That's Bayern Leverkusen. In Madrid, you have to manage, you have to coach. Do you think Alonso is doing justice to that?
Yes, for every coach, whether you are managing Lobby Stars, Barao FC, or even Kun Khalifa, as a coach, when things are not going well, you just have to find a way to make sure that you get back to winning ways. You try to manage the crisis. If there are cracks in the wall, you try to manage it. If there are egos in the dressing room, you try to manage it. We know that one thing that every Real Madrid manager, right from Luxembourg to Pellegrino, to Rafa Benitez, to the Jose Mourinho's of this world, you have to deal and manage egos in the Real Madrid dressing room. Xabi Alonso has not really been able to manage the egos in the dressing room. Man management is a very important skill for every coach. And at Real Madrid, if you don't have it, you go carry your car, they go out.
Mbappe is becoming the main man of that team. Shouldn't the rest of the players align and say, well, we'll have a man who's up there, who's more like the focal point, who scores the goals. Now we have to align ourselves. We saw that with Lionel Messi at Barcelona. We saw that with Real Madrid, with Cristiano Ronaldo. Once you have the main man who is there, for the good of the team, you have to align yourself.
Yes, but Vinicius Jr. just left the group as you are talking, because I don't think Vinicius Jr. will cooperate and try to accept the fact that he is no longer the poster boy at Real Madrid. And just maybe that is one of the reasons why they are going down and they are not getting the right result, especially when it matters. We saw how they drop point against Elche. They drop point against which team now away from home. And against Alaves, they just have to go all out, regardless of the ego. We know they're actually battling some injury crisis as well. Eder Militao, it will take a miracle for him to play in the remainder of the season. David Alaba, who for me, I don't even understand why he's still in that team. That man should be surplus to requirement. He should leave that team. Hendrick, we're not sure whether he's still in honeymoon mode or not. It's a whole lot of issues that are causing this below par performances that we've been seeing of Real Madrid lately. Rodrigo, after about 33 games, he scored his first goal against Manchester City in the Champions League. Let's just hope that things will work out well for them against Alaves. But if it doesn't happen, Xabi Alonso...
Do you see him staying to the end of the season?
It will be difficult.
Well, let's leave La Liga and rush through to Serie A. Well, I want to believe this is the toughest season because the group looks very interesting. 30 points each, Milan and Napoli. Of course, Roma is somewhere, hibernating. Inter on 30 points. Napoli, Milan 31 points. And of course, Roma 4th place. Now, teams that you cannot have, now Milan, Napoli cannot afford to drop points because the moment you do that, you basically lose your spot. And this weekend is a very interesting one. Udinese will be facing Napoli. They have to win.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting game. Napoli lost 2-0 at the Benfica Stadium in the Champions League. It's been a roller coaster for Antonio Conte. At some point, we're even hearing that he might throw in the towel because the results
are not... second season syndrome?
Yes, second season syndrome, and he's not getting the kind of result he wants. But he has a chance of getting back to winning ways when they come up against an Udinese side that you don't really know what to expect especially when they come up against the big guns. Maduka Okoye is still in that team. They've got a couple of players that can out Napoli, but I feel that the likes of Scott McTominay, Anguissa, Zambo Anguissa, the Cameroonian midfielder, who should play his last game before entering a plane to move to Morocco. And the likes of Di Lorenzo, McTominay, like I mentioned, Lukaku is getting getting back to full fitness. Rasmus Højlund, David Neres, and co. They can do damage against Udinese, and I expect them to do that.
How much of McTominay? I didn't see this McTominay in Manchester United. The McTominay we are seeing now. He's more like I call him Don McTominay, but I don't really say that there's this dog in him. But he's showing that dog in him. Some say maybe don't drink the water in Naples. That's why.
That is what happens when a coach has belief in you. When there's confidence that yes, you can get the job done. I think at Manchester United, the likes of Erik ten Hag didn't really have 120% confidence that the man can do it. And we are seeing even at national team level, he carried the burden of World Cup qualification on his shoulders. We saw the kind of goals he scored in the World Cup qualifying series. And that explains why for the first time since 1998, Scotland will be playing in the World Cup. I remember I watched the opening game of the France 98 when they took on Brazil and they lost by 2-1 in that particular fixture. And the likes of Scott McTominay and not forgetting the likes of Kieran Tierney, they were just babies. Some were not even born as at that time. But for Scott McTominay, he's enjoying life in Naples, a breath of fresh air. And like I said earlier, that is what happens when the coach believes in you. Just get onto the field of play and do your thing. And he has been doing it. And I expect him to continue in that particular trajectory when they face Udinese this weekend.
Milan sits at the top of the table with 31 points, same as Napoli, and they will be facing Sassuolo at home.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting game. Sassuolo, they've further to deceive since they gained promotion back to the top flight of Italian football. But for me, I've seen a different mentality in Milan these days. They grind out results even when their backs are against the wall. So this should not be different. If you watch what we've seen of Milan in recent times, they just find a way of getting that last or dime minute goal that will break the backs of their opponents, and they will go back home with 3 points.
And that fixture to look out for Bologna, Juventus, of course, Genoa, Inter, and that matches to look out for. Let's leave Serie A quickly and rush to Ligue 1. Marseille Monaco, one of the biggest match this weekend, Otumba.
It's going to be an interesting game at the Velodrome. Marseille, both teams actually won their Champions League games. Monaco defeated Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray by a 0-0. Marseille, did Marseille drew?
No, they won.
They won.
They won.
It was their last game they drew with Newcastle. They also won as well. So it's going to be an interesting fixture. It's a fixture that you need to just grab your popcorn and your drink and cross your legs and sit out, because it's usually very interesting. The two teams have players that can hurt each other.
True.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on the side of Olympique Marseille.
True.
Jason Greenwood. On the part of Monaco, they've got the returnee, Paul Pogba, who is rolling back the years and showing that
Ansu Fati is there as well.
He's truly a World Cup winner. Ansu Fati and some other guys in that particular team. And not also forgetting this guy who is eligible to play for Nigeria, George Ilenika. Folarin Balogun, the Nigerian-born American striker, is also there. So it's going to be an interesting fixture. But I just feel that the home side, talking about Olympique Marseille, might just edge this one.
And also other matches to look out for, just in case you want to pay attention to, you want to follow Ligue 1. Interesting matches there for PSG. Now, this season, PSG, you know, they don't look like that PSG that in fact, they play goalless draw in the Champions League. But of course, we expect them to win Ligue 1.
Shocking result against Athletic Bilbao at the San Mamés a couple of days ago in the Champions League. I feel that we are not seeing the kind of the same PSG we saw in the Champions League and in the Ligue 1 last season. The truth is this. They just need to find a way of getting results, despite the fact that they are missing the Ballon d'Or winner, Ousmane Dembele.
Because they will face Metz.
If you look at the standings right now, RC Lens are topping the Ligue 1 table. So many persons have said it that the Ligue 1 is a farmers' league, but I have my reservations about that. Because when these Ligue 1 teams came up against English oppositions in the last 1 week or so, we saw the result. PSG, took out, was in Newcastle now, and Olympique Marseille also had a good result against
USG.
Against Newcastle. Yes, so the Ligue 1 is not a league that anybody can just say no. What is actually happening there? It's going to be interesting this weekend. I just hope that PSG will find a way of getting back to the top of the table, because personally, I feel that is where they belong.
Of course, PSG will be traveling to face Metz away from home. Paris, of course, Moses Simon, his last game is against Toulouse, so we expect him to sign off with a goal, at least.
Yes, Toulouse, with what I've seen of them this season, I expect Paris FC, to get maximum points in this particular one. I think at least something for Moses Simon to cheer about before jetting out to Morocco for AFCON.
And also Lens and Nice as well, and we'll have Strasbourg, Lorient, and Lyon, Le Havre as well. Interesting games there to look at.
Lens, Nice, that should be a straightforward win for RC Lens, considering the fact that OGC Nice have not really been firing on all cylinders.
They
lost. They lost to Braga in the Champions League, sorry, I beg your pardon, in the Europa League some days ago, and they've not really been finding their rhythm. We saw how the protestations of the fans led to injuries to Nigerian player Terem Murphy, who also missed out on a spot in the Nigerian squad for the AFCON, and Jeremy Poga. They were both inflicted with injuries during the clash between the fans and the players because of bad result. And I don't expect anything to change when they come up against top of the table RC Lens, who are playing fantastic football at the moment.
And that's that on, of course, on Ligue 1. We will take a break, a short break. We're going to come back very fast. You see the, yes, Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. Chinwe Pikin is my name. And the voice by my right, of course, really here is Babatunde, CEO Biogenes Media. Will they come back sharply? Make we pay this bill. Let's go on a quick break. Will they come back? No go anywhere. All right, welcome back, Sports Cruise on top at UTV Africa, live from our Abuja studios. And we'll be keeping up with you with Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1. Maybe we come back at home briefly, Otumba. A lot there for us to dissect for this side. And I love MPF because I support Enugu Rangers. So the flying
now we own.
Now we own. Yeah. And of course, interesting matches there this weekend. Plateau United, Nasarawa United, one of the matches to look out for Otumba quickly. That match tough. That match go tough.
Yes, it will be interesting because the coach of Nasarawa United was fired at Plateau United. Talking about Mangut Mwangas. It's going to be an interesting match. It's more or less like a North Central derby.
They're brothers. They're close.
They're neighbors. They're neighbors. They are rivals. Plateau State will claim to be the elder brother because Nasarawa United was actually carved out of Plateau United. It's going to be an interesting game at the New Jos Stadium. I find it difficult to even call that stadium a new stadium because we're talking about a stadium that has remained half completed since 1989, and we still call it a New Jos Stadium. Talking about what transpired the last time Plateau United welcomed Rivers United, that was just a couple of days ago. They lost by 2-1. Finidi George and his men went back to Port Harcourt with maximum point in the bag. I'm sure Plateau United will not want a repeat of what played out in that particular fixture. They will be hoping that they will inflict some injuries, not physical injuries, against Nasarawa United, who are top of the table and are tied on point with Rivers United. They are both on 30 points.
Bend Insurance go to welcome my darling team Enugu Rangers.
This game is what you call the traditional Nigerian Premier Football League fixture because we are talking about teams that have got history between them. Bendel Insurance, now team we don't see. Rangers, same. So it's going to be an interesting game. Kennedy Boboye on the sideline for Bendel Insurance, and we're not too sure if Fidelis Ilechukwu will be available. Considering his national team commitment, he might be available for this particular fixture. And even if he is not, it's going to be an interesting game at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium.
Enyimba Akwara United quickly.
Another interesting game. You consider the fact that Enyimba have struggled for consistency, and they are coming up against a Akwara United side that you don't really know what to expect. And in fact, since the arrival of Coach Brazil, like I call him, it's been more or less like a positive tidings for the Ilorin-based side.
They'll be picking point both home and away. They collect them, they pack and they go.
For Enyimba, Coach Deji Ayeni needs to get his tactics right. Else, Kwara United will go back to Ilorin with something to smile about.
Califat, of course, are going to face Abia Warriors, but quickly, Rivers Wiki Tourists.
Yes, that was an interesting game at the Adoke Amesemaka Stadium. I expect Finidi George's side, to continue from where they stopped. Like I said earlier, they defeated Plateau United far away from home, and coming back to their own backyard. I don't expect anything different.
No, they don't have any serious engagement in continental football anymore.
Yes, so I think their focus right now is how to usurp Nassau United.
And then come back to intercontinental football as well, because we want Rivers United to come back very fast.
Absolutely.
And another fixture to look out for, Barao Shooting Stars, your Shooting Stars, shooting. I call them shooting stars.
It's going to be an interesting game at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Barao FC, it's usually difficult to pick points, especially when they are playing at their home ground. But Shooting Stars they've enjoyed this consistency in their last few games. So, but in this particular fixture, I think in my head, I'm seeing a draw in that particular.
And of course, Warri Wolves, Kano Pillars, and then we got on Monday, Ikorodu City, go to welcome Katsina United.
Yeah, I think that was a straightforward win for Ikorodu City when you consider the off-field issues that Katsina United are actually battling with. A brother of mine actually plays for Katsina United, and they've been having issues with the management because in the last 5 months, the players have not been paid their salaries. And they went AY against Bender Insurance some days ago. In fact, they stopped the team boss from moving to the stadium for that particular fixture, which they eventually lost against Bendel Insurance. But right now, they are playing their home games at the Rashidi Yekini Main Bowl at the Ilorin Township Stadium because they were banished due to crowd violence in Katsina. So I expect Ikorodu City to pick up maximum point at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium because Katsina United right now, they can't even muster and win. They can't even buy a goal. So straight points, 3 points, 3 goals in favor of Ikorodu City for me.
All right, let's leave the round letter game and then rush through. Yes, the grid. It's all about Formula One. Though the season don't end, but it's safe to say, we should say congratulations to McLaren, congratulations to Lando Norris, and of course, congratulations to the team. They did it the double, the constructors and then the drivers championship. Though at some point it felt like they were going to lose it. Though Max Verstappen, defending champion, be raising head, but finally the team McLaren came out on top in this one.
Yes, with 2 races to go. I remember during one of our radio sessions we were talking about it that Lando Norris just needs to keep his head and be focused.
And Pierre and the team himself. Yeah.
Yes, and I think they were able to do that. And congratulations to him. I love the fact that they were able to break that jinx because waiting happened. Max Verstappen in the last few years.
We talk say Lewis Hamilton don't monopolize them, and then Max Verstappen won't come monopolize.
He can't carry chairs, you know, and say, "Oh, I know they go anywhere." And for Sir Lewis Hamilton apologists like us and lovers, I feel it's good that someone that is you can call a relative of Sir Lewis Hamilton, also got the title, and he wrestled it away from the hands of Max Verstappen. So we go again in 2026.
Though, yes, you might say Sir Lewis Hamilton didn't have the best of a season with Ferrari.
At all. It was a season to forget.
Yes, hopefully they will get it right next season. And let's leave that side quickly, rush to the ring where Anthony Joshua, of course, I won't own. Our son go wearing gloves on the 19th of this month to face a YouTuber, come heavyweight boxer in Jake Paul. Now, this is not more like, this is not a heavy match. This is not a heavyweight match. I expect that money at the back. Anthony Joshua, they go fine.
Absolutely.
I'm in support of Anthony Joshua. I'm going to go and look for the bag. I'm also in support of Anthony Joshua not ending his career. I'm not in support of Anthony Joshua ending his career this way. I still think he's still very young, considering the people we see there in that bracket, because Orlando Usyk is older than Anthony Joshua, we hold the belt. Though Anthony Joshua ran away from facing Donald Dubois, but I expect him at least get the bag against YouTuber on the 19th, Jake Paul. Not supposed to be anything.
For me, this is more or less like an exhibition fight. The fact that Jake Paul, the YouTuber, was able to win against the legendary Mike Tyson a couple of years ago. He should not allow it to get into his head and hope that he should be hoping that results will be the same when he comes up against the Shagamu-born Antonio Joshua. For me, Antonio Joshua, I'm surprised that he's not in Nigeria right now, because we know that whenever he's preparing for a major fight like this, he comes home to come and eat some amala, lafun and all that. But he chose not to come this time around. But just maybe he's not under so much pressure when you consider his opponent, Jake Paul. Who is Jake Paul? A YouTuber. So Jake Paul should actually get his medics very close to the ringside, because once he steps out of the ring, he should be visiting an hospital, because I don't see Antonio Joshua sparing him at all. We know that Jake Paul is very mouthful and boastful, but he will meet something different when he comes up against Antonio Joshua, and hopefully the young man will give us something to cheer about.
I'm not supposed to, hopefully, Anthony Joshua is supposed to come on in teeth, like 4 teeth or 5 teeth in the ground, but it's a bit match. I thought, thank you so much, Otumba. God bless you for joining me. And that's that on YouTube, on Sports Cruise on UTV Africa, with yours truly Chinwe Pekin, alongside CEO Bauji's Media, Otumba. You can call him Babatunde Ojo. I'll see you next time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.